Not sure if many of you know, but we do have a virtual tier within the Design Coven, virtual pro member tier, which includes 3 virtual meetings a month where we set intentions. We do group coaching. So bring all your questions. We answer those questions and you get to learn from other people going through the same struggles as you. We also do a business practice meeting. So we'll have somebody on to share a business practice that we can all benefit from. And then we also do a product training. So getting a sustainable, eco-friendly line to come on, share who they are so that we can be supported with other like-minded businesses. And if you're not quite ready for pro, you can always join our free community where you will connect with other like-minded holistic interior designers. You don't have to be an interior designer if you are kind of just dabbling or you're aspiring or you're looking into this field. We invite everybody from all journeys, and you don't, again, have to be a designer. You don't have to have a degree. We're just a beautiful community of like-minded people looking to create healing spaces, not just for ourselves, but for our clients and future clients. Come join us at designcoven.com/join. Hey. Today I am introducing you to one of my oldest resources for interior design, and I have got Linda Hodnett of Stitch Studio, which originates from the 25-year legacy that was Janie's Draperies. Purchasing the drapery workroom in the summer of 2018, Linda Hodnett, an A.S.I.D interior designer with over 30 years in the design industry, wanted to create the soft goods workroom she's always dreamed of. A studio for designers by a designer, a one-stop shop designer's resource for custom interior soft goods in San Diego. I have been using this workroom since the very beginning when I first started my design career in 2005, and I'm so excited to be able to share this resource with all of you. We are going to be exploring the workroom this week through the Design Coven. So if you're here in San Diego and you want to join our Design Coven, the link is below, and we will be doing a beautiful tour of the space and learning all good things from Linda. I hope you enjoy this episode. I look forward to hearing from any of you if you have any questions. And if you are enjoying the podcast, please write us a beautiful 5-star review so that we can be seen and found by other aspiring interior designers. And or if you have somebody that you think can benefit from the podcast, please share. You're listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business Podcast. This is a podcast that guides you as a new or inspiring independent interior designer navigating your entrepreneurial path. Here, with my over 20 years experience, I will share my holistic approach to design with intention and ancient practices, including feng shui, all incorporating mind, body, and spirit into my design projects. You will also learn from seasoned interior designers as they give strategies and insight of how they built their businesses and continue to work in the field. Together, we will discover supportive trade partners, new ideas, creatives, and inspiring artists from around the world. I am your host, Rachel Lorraine Crawford. Hello. On today's episode of Bewitching the Home, we have Linda Hodnett of Stitch Studio, along with her own interior design business. I'm super excited to have her on because we get to get into the world of soft goods, draperies, all of those things. And before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and open our space to get us connected into the present moment by ringing our bell, just anchoring into our bodies. I'm going to light our candle from Mithras, my magical candles that I love. It's turning very little here. I've just been burning away with this.
Like one more inch and it's a new candle.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent. So we'll light this and connecting with that element of fire, connection, creativity. And then of course I'm going to pull a card, and I've got Moonbaby Magic tarot card deck from Angela Mary Magic, who was on Bewitching the Home at the very, very beginning. So I just love pulling her cards, and they're fun and they're colorful, and
And we are excited to see what card.
Excited. Yeah. All right, Linda, let's see what we've got. I'm going to read the cards right side up. So if it comes in reverse, I'm turning it over, just how I roll. Oh my God. I pulled this at the last episode I just did. It's the Emperor again, which is structure. And this is one of my values is Emperor energy for the design coven, which is, to me, it's all about taking action. It's about holding space for others to be able to grow, for others to be seen. It's just that masculine authority, but in a way that's healthy, right? It's like it's making room for other people so that they can thrive and be successful. They can all be queens of their queendoms. It's just a magical card for me.
Everybody wants to occupy that throne,
right? I love it. Do you have any special connection with the Emperor, or do you have anything? Well, you're an Aries moon.
I'm a moon, and I'm a dragon, and I'm all sorts of like the kind of the director, the leader, it's weird. I'm a number 5, or number 1. I'm like, it's just weird how all these numbers and everything always plays into, and you try to fight it and you can't fight it. Just can't fight it.
Yeah, you definitely hold that Emperor energy for sure.
I got to embrace my inner cloak.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your energy is really strong, and I can totally see that. That's beautiful. All right. So what are you nourishing yourself with this morning? What do you got over there?
So super excited about this.
Okay.
Espresso's new lemon espresso.
Oh.
With a little bit of almond milk, little, warm, cozy, start my day.
Nice. I have an espresso as well. I do Roma, just basic Roma.
Roma's in my queue.
Nice and intense. So I've got 3 things this morning. I always have like a multitude of drinks. So I've got that. I've got a nice pressed. Oh, you got something else too. What is that, water?
Yeah. Lemon water.
Nice. So I've got pressed green juice. Green's number 3. And then we did go out a little bit last night. So I'm starting with some CBD oil, some cleanse from misperception, just to kind of rebalance here. So yeah, I've got a multitude of things.
Yes, we need something in every corner of our space to feed our soul and keep us moving.
Yeah, absolutely. So Linda, tell me, what is home for you at the moment?
Home. Everywhere is home currently. I'm so on the move all the time that it's just whoever's in my space. That is my home. So it's my current friends, family, and husband.
Awesome.
No pets for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, the shop cat.
Luna. Yeah. The shop cat does drive my world. It's so funny. Forgot about little Luna.
Yeah,
mighty.
Yeah, she is awesome.
Yeah, her Amazon packages come in today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she's really sweet. So tell me, how did you get into the world of interior design? What was that?
So I was creative as a child. From the time I was 6, 7 years old, I was always the person sketching out of the back of the magazine. I was the person sketching out of books for school. I was making jewelry. I was painting little things. We lived in Santa Monica, and we walked down to the pier and buy these little porcelain things that you would get to paint.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like this weird world of what I spent my money on. Here's my allowance. Let me have your porcelain. I was the kooky Annie Hall in high school. Totally wayward, had no clue what I wanted to do. We had no real guidance. My parents had many children, so it was always when it got to me as number 5, I was on.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, I was the 5th one. I'm sure the other ones had conversations. I did not. But it ended up that I had no idea where I wanted to go to school, so I went to UCSD in La Jolla, and signed up for economics. Who knew? In the fall of my 2nd year, or just before Thanksgiving, I was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh my God.
And I kind of had to withdraw out of school, was completely depressed, didn't know what I wanted to do. I moved out of my apartment and to home. And my father said, I think you should be a designer. And I went, what? Got to become a doctor? Well, what
Great.
is this? You talk of small talk of design business. He helped me go, and I applied to FIDM, UCLA, and Otis Parsons.
Oh my gosh.
Was accepted to all three, but didn't kind of know. So he was teaching at UCLA in the medical division and said, I think you'd like LA. So
Okay.
off I went. My sister was already at UCLA. Off I went to go share an apartment with my younger sister.
Oh my gosh.
So 3.5 years in, I finished. At 4 years, I walked. It was a starting group of 660 and a finishing group of 60.
Oh my gosh.
It was a huge program. I remember the first one and just this amazing thing. And the kind of the backstory is I grew up in the largest house in Coronado and, helped to design a pool and did all these other things that was like, oh, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. This would be cool. I love the antiquity of this house that was built in 1902. I loved like that whole vibe, and everything had a purpose and everything had there was a photography, a dark room, there was a ballet studio, there was like everything had a purpose. So every room had a purpose that was used, which is the old way that they designed.
Yeah.
So I worked in LA for 11 and a half years before I moved back to San Diego, and worked, when I moved back, it was, it was 1995, just after the great earthquake of 94 that sent me out of LA.
And when you were in LA.
I was in LA in the middle of that.
Oh my God. And were you working for a design firm or another designer, or were you on your own?
When I moved up there, I worked in the clothing industry because I didn't know what to do as I went to school. And I did window displays and sold clothes. So I worked for a competition to Benetton and did their window displays for this really cool Italian store. And then in late 87, 88, I was over everything. I got a job with a designer who I still talk to today.
Oh my gosh.
She was my mentor. I helped raise her children. I worked out of her home.
Wow.
We shared the same brain. She's a Pisces, which is my really compatible sign.
Nice.
Which is ironic. And because, you always know things, do things, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I worked with her and it got slow, and I went to work at another business. I ran a construction company doing bidding and getting the other aspects of design, which was really tough because it was sexual harassment on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And having to be strong enough to, which is how that energy comes.
Yeah.
Having to fight against these male dominated, they know everything things. So I was bidding jobs and doing and dealing with subs and the whole thing, workers' comp, all the business aspects of that. So it went from a small design company of 3 to 2 to a 10-person show and doing all their stuff. And then the earthquake happened. I went back to work with the designer and her husband because I love them dearly. And then I was like, peace out, people. I can't with this city anymore. So I didn't feel like there was enough design opportunities in LA, because if you weren't the Barbara Berries, there's too many famous people being designers, which is, are always our fun thing. So came back here, worked for a window covering specialist and started my own business on the side. So worked with them for 18 years and did my own clients on the side.
Wow.
That's how it all started. Holy man.
And you're still doing interior design now? A lot.
It has been, I mean, when did I graduate? I started in 84, in June of 84, and finished in 87. And I've been in design since 86, working for designers.
Wow. And so how did you come in contact with what was Janie's?
Janie, I found, long, long, long time ago, when I came on with this window covering business, they had a workroom, and they kind of wanted to retire. So Janie had worked for Dennis Conner, who was a famous person doing his work and was on the sailing team for the America's Cup of San Diego. And she started her own workroom, and she started doing all my drapes. So she was doing all my drapes and bedding and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So I have known her, another fellow Gemini, for a very long time. And in 2015, she came to me and said, I think I want to retire. Would you be interested in taking over the business? So fast forward 3 years later, in July of 2018, I took on Janie's Draperies, or it was Janie's Custom Draperies. I changed it to Janie's Draperies because I like simple.
Yep.
And then a year after that, I rebranded because I found I was doing more than just draperies, and I didn't want to be known as just a drapery workroom.
Got it.
So in taking on the blinds, the drapes, the bedding, the boats, all the things that we do, it was so much more. So my best friend, fellow Pisces, and I brainstormed for Stitch Studio.
Yeah, it's great. When I first got out into the design world, just after graduating, I was working for H. Johnson Interiors. I don't know if you know Merity, and
we still do her work.
Do you? Yeah, so that was my first job. That was my first job. And I literally lived like down the street from Janie's. So I would go to Janie's, pick up all the stuff, and head back up to Escondido. Yeah, so I've been there. So I knew her in 2005. And that was always the workroom that we would use. And
it still is.
Yeah. So funny.
It is such a small world, and people forget how small this world is, and that you will cross paths.
Yeah.
And, you should always be thankful for the path that you cross.
Oh, absolutely. And I just remember going into the workroom, and I think it was Janie. She was always just like, oh my God, I love your writing. Because in school, when you like practice the architectural writing, and like, I just remember getting out of school and I was so like diligent on all my paperwork. She's like, I just love this. And it was so that helped me like stand out. And it's all about those little things that it's like they remember you, right? And it's like I remember when I went back off on my own, she's like, I totally remember you because of your writing. It's just like, it's just really cool. But and then I found out that they rebranded, and then you were the new owner, and I was like, oh, this is so cool because the Stitch, it's easy, and I love the logo. It's fantastic.
Yes, so it's funny because when you start doing stuff, and somebody's, as a designer, good designers are mostly codependent. We have a hard time saying no. Mm-hmm. You can always make it work. So when other designers are saying, can you do this for me? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to source. I don't know can you do it? And you're always saying, yes, yes, yes. Things have to evolve.
Right.
And I'm afraid in the evolution of design, what's going to happen if we don't keep these businesses running.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know how I feel about restoration hardware. It is just painful when people think that ready-made is design.
Yeah.
So it's we need to support all the businesses out there that are the dinosaurs that started it.
For sure. So can you share with us exactly all the things? I know you have a ton of things that you do in the workroom, but can you share with us and those that are just starting in the design world, what is soft goods, and what does a workroom do, and what services do you offer, and what can we expect?
Soft goods is the designer's friend. It is the money maker of all of design. So it is anything that is not a blind is a soft good in the world of window coverings.
Okay.
So drapes, Roman shades, valances, cushions, bedding, pillows, slip covers, like things like that that don't involve big structured things. Like, we don't upholster sofas. We don't make slip covers for sofas, that kind of stuff. But we do all the little stuff.
And bedding and
anything that has to do with the bed skirts, anything, all of that stuff is part of the jam. We work on a lot of boats. We work for a lot of doing specialty boat curtains, boat bedding.
Wow.
Boats have shapes. You don't do anything on a straight. Everything's on a curve, an angle, this and that.
Right.
So because I started so long ago in window coverings and knowing things, I took on measuring a lot of my own stuff because it made it easier and more productive and faster and keeping things moving, so things didn't get held up by one single human.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I will go out and do the measures, consult, try to talk through the best solutions for something, because sometimes what a client wants isn't what they need.
Right.
And sometimes us as designers get stuck in what a client wants without being able to spin and bob and weave and come up with alternate solutions. I run 1,000,000 miles an hour. We all know this because I go from answering phones to writing orders to measuring to ordering to speccing to problem solving. On a daily, the first thing I do when I walk in the workroom is ask questions of who has questions on the current jobs, and I make a loop, get them going and moving. They all start at 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't. And there's not enough elixir to get me there at 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just a constant, every day is different. Every day there's a fire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, in the design
know that.
world, any world, on every.
Especially in the design world, every day is a fire.
Yeah, for sure. And have you kept on all the employees from before? Did they just kind of transition over, or did you have to rework that whole thing?
So when I took on the workroom, I took on all the employees. When COVID hit, I had to, put a pause and put everybody on unemployment for that period of time from March to May. And I lost 2 employees immediately to unemployment, which was fun. Everybody else helped come back early to help make masks and everybody was willing to put in the efforts. Wow. They appreciated the job. I run the shop like a family.
Yeah.
We celebrate birthdays every month. I make lunches. I do pizza days. I do things because, nobody's cared for.
Yeah.
So I kept all of those until last summer. I lost 2, which I didn't think was a bad thing because I really don't like negative energy.
Yeah.
Because it puts everybody in a tailspin, and then there's a lot of internal, and especially when you have a lot of people in one giant room, you get a lot of personalities.
For sure.
And, it's how to deal with those things and how to do. My oldest employee is set to retire in 1.5 years.
Oh my God.
So she has been there, 20-something years.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy. So now I got to find somebody to train. I got to find them in the next 6 months because I want them to train under her for 1 year.
Right.
Because of her knowledge is just, and her and I work things through on how to do stuff.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of like, here's the picture. How should we make this and do that? I had one employee who I now employ her husband and her son, and they've learned on the job.
Oh my goodness.
So they've learned to do stuff, which is it just shows you the resilience of people. And they travel from Tecate every day to the workroom.
Wow.
So, it's one of those things where it was like, wait a second. So they had to get American bank accounts. They have working visas and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, oh gosh. So it was all these, a lot of stuff that both sides had to do to make this work.
That's amazing.
So for the most part, yes. And now I brought one person out of retirement. So she works with us 2 days a week, which she loves because it keeps her going.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah. So any designers know any seamstresses, we need them.
We need them.
We're down.
We're putting it out there.
Yes. I need that energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you are an interior designer first. So you understand the struggle of being in the field and also having the knowledge of being in the workroom. So you are really combining these two forces. So when a designer does come to you with an issue or a problem, or they don't like, for me, like I'll come to you and be like, I don't know how to communicate this, or what's the best solution, or what do I do with this? And, and it's, for me, it's really important to be really open with you to be like, I'm kind of at a loss or I need help, right? And then for you, or for me and you, it's like you're able to come and help me with the solution. And I think that's so valuable. And I honestly, that's like gold to me, to be able to come to somebody and be open and say, I don't know. And to have you
It's true, because
help.
the designers that do the best, that have the least amount of errors to their jobs that come back, you know how that works,
Yep.
is a communication thing. I say, I don't think this is going to work well. If you fight me on it, it's gonna come back. It's like I just got a fabric for 2 different designers, and it's a problem fabric, and it's a silk. And I said, don't ever bring this back, because these people cannot use this pillow. It's lined.
Yeah.
And the pressure of the body shredded it, just pulled the threads out.
Wow.
And I said, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It should be drapes only, because it can't have any kind of tension. And she was like, oh, thank God, I just put this in. I told the clients, we can do other pillows. This could be a pretty pillow. You can't sit on it. It was in a chair that wasn't supposed to be used. And lo and behold, they're using it.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, that's because they love it so much. So it's one of those things. I think that collaboration is huge. I get to do some really fun and creative stuff. I help a designer. Her name is Myrna from Home Vogue, and she has been doing it for a long time, and she gets it, and she asks. And she had these kids draperies that had this kind of like terracotta polka dots, bright colors.
Oh, yeah.
And the client moved houses and said, I want to use these to make pillows.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought it in, and they were like Pottery Barn drapes. So as we took them apart, we didn't have enough to make pillows. And I said, hey, Myrna, don't have enough to make the pillows, but why don't we do like 2 pillows the way you want? And let's do the 3rd pillow in the drape combination that's pink with the yellow welting on it. And got a picture yesterday of the room done, and said she loves her room so much. It's so cute.
Awesome.
So, knowing things like the pillows are used on the floor, let's use touch down instead of straight down so they don't mush, just
Yeah.
silly little things that people don't think about, but I have to think about because I have to make it.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. I mean, there's stuff that I am like so proud of when it comes out, because it's so cool. Like,
That's rad.
that I'm like, okay, love it. Love it.
You're doing good things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's huge having you in our corner, and to have somebody that specializes in this, because then you can bring that to your client and you can know what you're talking about and you have experience, and it's huge. I mean, the value there is really beyond just being a workroom. So that's something I really wanted to express and share with, these designers. And like I said, like all of my vendors and the people I work with are people that I've created these relationships with for such a long time. And there's a reason why we keep going back and keep using.
Yeah. Collaboration is everything in design. Even the collaboration with other designers, because multiple designers may work on a project.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to kind of not get along with everybody, but get along with everybody and be able to bring something to the table that says, this is it, one thing, here's what should happen. Like I think too many people have watched too much HGTV.
Oh, yeah.
And things just happen by happenstance. Like, oh, I could just do this, I'm like, well, how are you spanning 14 feet, my friend? How is that happening?
Yeah.
So it really does take the questions, and you're good with it, because you and a couple other designers pre-send things that say, here's what I'm thinking of doing. Is this going to work? Is this the best solution? I get a lot of pictures of windows, and I have to say the worst ones are the ones where, unfortunately, the retail environment finds us, and I get pictures of things, and I have to laugh and be like, no, thank you. you can't make things work that aren't supposed to work.
Right,
So
right.
it has to
Absolutely.
be meant to be.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you have to know when a blind is the right answer and when a drape or a Roman shade's the right answer, or if it's to be left on its own.
Mhm.
That there's always, and as you saw the other day when the three of us were talking,
Oh,
it
yeah.
took us going around in a tornado circle to come to a resolution that was comical.
Yes.
And it
Hilarious.
was like, oh, duh.
I went to that client, was it yesterday or the day before? And I told them the whole story. I was like, well, this is what happened. We went to the workroom. We looked through all these things. We came up with all these solutions. And we circled back and realized that you have a vertiglide in the same room. So why don't we not just put that same treatment on the window? And he's like, well, that's clever. It's just like, oh my God.
Huh.
What a concept. Oh, you're going to get the same treatment. Yeah.
Yes, there is something called over designing.
Oh my God, for sure. I mean, we had like all these options and it was just like, holy shit. And then I was like, wait a minute.
We're all culprits of over designing, where you have to take, it's almost like when you do for other stuff, you pull it all, you take a step away from it, walk in the other room and come back and be like, what am I eliminating? There's way too much stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm helping my little sister, number 7,
Oh my God.
move it back into her house after 10 years. So I'm sending all my vendors there
Yeah.
to go fix and do. And she hasn't lived there for 10 years because she wanted her kids to graduate out of Coronado High School.
Okay.
And that has now happened. And she said, I have 9 paint colors.
Oh my God.
I would like to pare it down.
You think?
And I said, great. I'm like, let's do this. And talking about the funny clientele, I'm like, listen, painter doesn't need your backstory.
Yeah.
He just needs to know what he's painting where.
Yeah.
Let him do his job and do not comment on the colors until after it's done.
Yeah.
And the one color that we picked that has just been the hardest one that I don't know what is happening
Uh-huh.
or how to change the lighting in her kitchen and her back office, which is like a mud room. The gray paint on the can is gray and the room is blue.
Well, gray is so hard. Man.
And it's such a not a cool gray.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, what is happening here? So now I want to actually put warm lights in our kitchen
And see
to
if that helps.
allow it to be more gray.
Oh my God.
We were dying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've had grays like go lavender, purple. And it's like, this is not.
Yeah. She wanted the putty color I picked for her living room. She had this kind of warmy yellowy green on there before because they were very into arts and crafts and everything was like natural and the whole thing. And I'm like, I'm a little over it. Let's move back your house back into the mid-century. I picked a putty. She looked at all the areas where they were cut in and the 2 colors, the putty looked gray. And I said, you've got to allow it to be painted.
Yeah.
Your brain is trying to
Figure it out.
blend them.
Yeah.
And it's not blending them. And she walked the job and she's like, oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. It's great.
Your putty's not putty anymore.
Yeah. Paint is very difficult. It's has problems for sure. And you had mentioned, all these other treatments having shutters and blinds. And can you share a little bit about that aspect of the business and the services you have there?
So I, for many, many years, always believed in a product that can get you at least the 10 years before your brain wants to change. So in the world of design, I always follow the 10-year rule.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if they taught this in school for you.
I don't remember any of this.
So every 10 years, your design aesthetic changes. So when doing children's rooms, there's like growth stages, like, what a 12-year-old wants isn't what a 16-year-old wants. And there's like the little growth stages. So you don't let them choose till it's time for them to choose. And if you want them to grow into it, they're going to, you layer it.
Right.
So to speak. So I always, multiple things in my design concept is the home should always be where your vacation is. You shouldn't feel like you need to go on vacation leaving your home. So it should be your cocoon. It should be your everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's your safe space.
Right.
So in doing that, whatever you pick should withstand time for 10 years. So the design aspect of the things, if it's a focal point, you want it to be on trend, but not trendy.
Right.
You want it to have substance that it's not going to break, bust, or disintegrate before 10 years is up. You want to be the one to decide to make it go away, not for it to decide to go away. So I always took on Hunter Douglas because they were the leaders in the longevity of products. And we're very proud of their name and their product and being made in the USA and all the things that were, granted, they have components that come in from overseas, but it's all manufactured in plants here in the United States, which is huge. So trying to make sure that we don't lose the things to China that we don't want to lose.
Right.
So everything in my house that's a blind is a Hunter Douglas. Every drape is stitched. Everything has to have its vibe and its thing and its ability to stand time. So they have 3 different kinds of shutters that I liked because they have the environmental one. They have the wood, which is they're all made in the United States. So the EPAs they're all environmentally made, including their vinyl. So, their whole thing is Hunter Green. Their whole product line is sustainability and not leaching more out of our environment. Even with my clients, I like to use natural stuff.
Right.
Have to be careful, as you know.
Yep.
Have to be careful with linen at the coast. It has a very,
oh my God.
It tends to grow on us. It shrinks and grows, and has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
And it's just a natural grass. It's a grass. We can't, and it's so unpredictable. It's so crazy that I wish I could predict what it would do.
Right.
Because if I could come up with a program to make that not grow, I would be a millionaire.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Yeah. Coming up with some sort of a solution to
I'm like, I need to start thinking these things. I mean, I designed a t-shirt the other day with a handle on the back of it for my next door neighbor's kid who's learning
to walk. God.
You need a handle on the back of that shirt. And she's like, you need to design it. Like, you're not kidding. Give me one of your shirts. Like, how genius is that for those little 9-monthers?
Handle. Pull them back.
Exactly. They're not going to fall. There's a handle.
That's hilarious.
Oh, anyway. So I took on the whole Hunter Douglas, and because I work with so many designers and so many designers were all over the place on where to source their products and how much they were paying. I had one designer paying retail and then having to sell it to our clients. And I believe that my clients, which are designers, should be able to resell everything and make a profit. And the clients should still get out ahead with their knowledge and their product and their offerings without having to go to these big houses and these other things. I want to nurture the ability for designers to be able to be sustainable and not source through these prehistoric sources that are retail.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for a new designer, part of the problem is they don't know where to resource, right? They don't have access to that, or they just don't know by just not knowing. They haven't been in the field long enough.
And for new designers, I have taken on the ability to offer them fabrics and do the whole thing so they can do.
Oh yeah.
You've seen the library, so you know the ability for me to source things for them if they're new and they don't understand. It's like, here is, the whole thing versus you having to do stuff. Because when you're at the beginning, a lot of people don't teach drapery classes anymore. They don't understand how fabric performs.
Correct.
And then these new designers are out there picking things that are inappropriate for a window covering and for a window covering to perform the way a client expects it to perform.
Exactly. I was just talking about this in the previous episode about, like, if you're not going to go to design school and get a bachelor's, you should at least get these certain classes. And textiles was one of those classes. Actually, you really need to understand textiles, right? And how they operate and how they work. And that, again, and you being able to offer these fabric books in your showroom for them to then choose from, and having you as a guide to be a second set of eyes to be like, okay, that's not going to work. And here's why. So it really educates them. And then also, if for you to be able to purchase the fabric, set it all up, having it sent to your workroom so that it gets there, the right way versus them having to run off, go to a fabric shop, try to pick a drapery fabric or whatever it is, and then, possibly make a mistake of not choosing the right thing. And then they might not realize, oh, I've got to get this shipped to the workroom. Instead, they have it shipped to their house or somewhere else. It gets lost. Like there's a million things that can happen, or they just don't know. So for you to be able to offer that service to them, it's huge.
Well, and it's really for us at the same point. We get so many problems with fabrics, whether there's flaws or ripped rolls, dirt, things. I got something cut the other day where it was cut on the end of the thing and the whole thing was dirty, and it's a silk. And I have to be able to tell somebody. I told I had a designer come in and look at her fabric because they said, this is Larson. This is $180 net a yard. And there are some big flaws you need to see so that you can tell me if your client's going to accept this, because it's part of what the fabric is, but not what the knowledge is when you're looking at a small sample, or I'm looking at things and designers don't understand that a pattern is printed crooked.
Yeah.
So I can work within something that's called a 1/2 inch of tolerance.
Okay.
So I don't really like to, because it makes things run crooked. And then the illusion is the pattern's going up and you can't match the seams and you're trying to hide stuff. So we always send it back. We always tell the designers, this is crooked. It's not going to make up
Not
good.
workable.
I just had something that was almost an inch and they accepted it.
Oh my gosh.
And had it go forward. And I am like,
ooh.
Yeah,
So do you have them sign off on that? Knowing
I have an email that says you've accepted this and you're going forward with it. So yes, I have to have people sign off on things that I do not agree with.
Yes, absolutely.
They have to come in and accept it. So because I have to be the quality control of everything. The other day was 2 months ago. 2 months ago, pre-COVID, my time frame's still wonky. I regauged all of our tables. We took them apart.
Oh my gosh.
Our tables have carpet padding underneath them. So I had to buy all new carpet padding, all new canvas, reset the rulers. So everything has straight lines, everything's plumb, because as things age, they get a little bit wonky. So I wanted to make sure that our quality control, so if something goes in crooked, it's not me, it's a fabric growing, which I can never guarantee if a fabric's going to grow or not. It's like, there's tricks, like you have to look, which I taught you. You look at the seams, and if the seams are even and the fabric dips in the middle, it's the fabric growing versus anybody doing uneven.
Yeah.
I literally, as I told you the other day, was at a job where another workroom made some drapes and was floored by how they were doing this. And it wasn't growing fabric because it was an acetate that doesn't grow. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have the ability to grow. I was just like, why did you accept this? And it was less painful to accept it and try and fix it and go than it was she said she felt bullied by the person. And I felt so bad for her that I said, it's not should be. I mean, we all have our temper tantrums. Yeah. I'm like a Gemini, for God's sakes. I will have a temper tantrum for 5 minutes and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
As long as I get it out and get my energy out and clear it.
Yeah.
Then I'm good. And then what happened? But I just was like, this is crazy. How is this? I was like, you need to send this back. And she's like, I can't send it back. I said, oh God, I've got to figure out how to make this work or fix it or band it or do something where I could bring it in and try and make it all even. And I don't know, touch the ground, something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy what I see out there.
Well, that's why we love you, because you get to share these experiences and help us avoid a lot of these mistakes.
Next time, this will be a glass of rosé.
Yes. We definitely have to do
We'll do
that.
an evening, not 8 a.m. right
I know,
there.
I know. We'll do an evening one. So tell me, you were just talking about how you're a Gemini and there's all this energy going on. How do you stay grounded? Are you practicing anything to help you stay centered? And you've got so many hats that you're putting
So
on.
it's funny because I told my husband, we need like the ability to go blah,
Yeah.
let it all go. So because he has just as stressful as a job that's like constant moving parts. So two things. I built a home gym.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
build it. I
Yeah.
designated a room for a home gym. And every night, either before or after dinner, depending upon when we get home, we walk or we bike ride. And then we share our experiences, get him out there, talk through them. I guidance counsel for him. It's funny because as a Gemini, I think that I am weirdly see things differently than he does. He's a Scorpio. He's an overthinker.
Okay.
I was like, you are overthinking that to death.
Yeah.
You need to stop going to the what if and just, the thing. So we always go on a bike ride or walk and he goes, can you remind me how you said that before? Because I was really good. I'm a people person. So I'm a massager of people.
Yes.
And it's all in how you massage a client to get onto the page of what it is and how you spin your words, because people are reactive to words. And I've learned through years and years and years that they only need to know what they need to know.
Yeah.
Putting it in a different way is just going to save them the grief of overthinking, because all good designers' clients are high analyticals. So they're overthinking everything to death. This is what I've, in my infinite wisdom, is in a crazy, chaotic Gemini who's codependent and can't say no. I work with all these super, super analyticals. And, you have to kind of go like this to get them into where they need to go. So it's like, herding the cats to get them in the chute.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yes, our exercise is everything. To downtime, playing tennis and going to the pool afterwards for a quick barbecue. We go and abuse my mom's pool.
Nice.
So she lives in a condo complex, and so we are like ninjas in there. It's like tennis, pool, barbecue, peace out.
Look at you. You have a whole routine. That's awesome.
It's what no children buys you.
Yeah, that's great. So what do you have coming up in the future? What's going on? Do you guys have any big projects that you're excited about? Or are there changes that you're planning?
We just had a design company that we love working with. They're very funny, and he has a sense of humor. So
nice.
Walk in with cubicle drapes. So we've got 58 drapes to make.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, by the 26th of August. So now it was like sourcing all the goods that I'm going to need for those things and walking through their fabric. And I said, I'm not sure this fabric is going to perform the way that you think it is. So, you may come back after and you may want to add shot tape into it, but it'll go out perfect.
Yeah.
So it's fun. We've got a huge outdoor project. I can't wait till it leaves the workroom. In white chenille. So, everybody with the outdoor.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I think I saw some of that when I was in the workroom.
Yeah,
right?
the black and white stripe ones are done.
Okay.
And now there's giant white chenille that's changing to white chenille in a different way. And it's just like, it's so much. It's like an entire huge house worth of outdoor patio furniture.
Wow.
And I can't wait till it leaves.
Yeah.
I need my space back.
I know. And your workroom's huge, and still gets overloaded.
We're purging and letting everybody, if your kid's school needs fabrics.
Oh yeah.
So I'm getting all fabrics to, sewing schools.
Perfect.
And schools that need projects that can't afford any play companies, that kind of stuff. Anybody. Okay. I'm like, I just want it to go to a good home and not into a landfill, because I believe I don't want to be that person.
No, absolutely. If we can reuse that, that'd be amazing.
I know. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. It's huge.
So
Nice. I'm excited to have you as our host for the Design Coven on Thursday, which is going to be the 21st this week, where our coven gets to come in and learn from you. We take a tour. Can you share a little bit about what we'll be doing as we learn, or what we'll be learning?
You'll start with coffee and donuts because that'll get their attention quick.
For sure.
And then I think I want to do twofold. I want to tour them how workroom works and how there's different sections and different people have different jobs, but we have a lot of cross training.
Yeah.
I believe that cross training is an answer. But I think I want to pull some different fabrics that for them to understand a warp, a weft,
Perfect.
things that people understand when things fight you, what they do and why.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and find some fabrics, and if you are not busy and want to come in prior to that, you might have some good opinions on what we do.
Okay, cool.
Because I think it's kind of important. They can see what it's like for Sombrella to perform. Like, I mean, if they're going to see that job, they're going to see two different kinds of Sombrella. They're going to see very expensive Sombrella that is a chenille that people are like, that's Sombrella? And then there's going to see the stripe, traditional black and white stripe, where they're like, yep, that's Sombrella. So I don't think people understand how many amazing fabrics there are and what can be done with fabrics. So, and then we can show them some of the finished products, the drapes hanging, what we do, the different rods on the walls and what they mean and when we use them, and you know, that kind of stuff. So when we're testing, they can see what that kind of is.
It's fantastic.
So, and they can meet all of the people that work in magic.
Yeah, I mean that truly is magic.
Yes.
Back
there. Yes.
We get to go behind the curtain.
Yes, you get to enjoy Oz.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. This is so great. Thank you, Linda. And how can other designers find you? Where can they connect with you to possibly have you work on their custom?
So we're everywhere. We're everywhere you want to be. Stitch Studio SD.com, and also on Instagram as Stitch Studio.
Okay.
So we've got both of those, and then Les Domicile, which is extraneous to everybody.
Yeah.
Because through my Les Domicile, I do help designers.
And that's your interior design business.
Yeah, and I do a lot of their stuff for them when they don't have time or don't understand.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
So that they can source to me and they get paid.
Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, we'll link all these.
So lesdomiciledesign.com is for Les Domicile and Instagram. I tried to make them because it's too much to remember.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
but it's fun.
I love it. Well, we'll add all of that to the show notes so that everyone can get a hold of you. And then, yes, everyone in the Design Coven is coming over on Thursday to experience the space in person. So
it's kind of exciting.
It's super exciting. And I see that there's probably some other workshops and things in the works that we can do because there's so much to learn. I mean, this is just...
It's so crazy. So crazy how much. And I have appellations. I'm A.S.I.D. and I'm ICDC certified.
Okay.
So I have both those certifications. And it's funny because I just was doing my 10 hours of CEUs and I was thinking to myself, these are all stupid CEUs. There needs to be some more like better ones because it's a constant learning experience and a constant influx of like, it's crazy what I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and what, you know, I joined a wellness design. So there's a Facebook group for wellness design.
Oh, what is it called?
It's called Wellness Design.
Oh, it's called, okay. Cool.
And it's all everything green.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it goes, it's all LEED certified and all that kind of stuff. So yes, the next time we're together, I'll show you and you can link into it. And I did that all because I volunteered at the Green Expo for A.S.I.D booth. So I manned the booth and learned, and I was like, whoa, and learned about a new toilet. And I was like, wow, it was great volunteering there to learn.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit out of it.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
Love it. All right, Linda, thank you so much. I just so appreciate you. Yes, absolutely. We'll see you on Thursday. You've been listening to the Holistic Interior Design Business podcast. If it's one that you have been enjoying, please share with anyone else that you think can benefit from this knowledge, and leave us a 5-star review that helps us get seen and found by other new and aspiring interior designers. And if you're looking for mentorship, I invite you to join our club here at the Design Coven. It's a bridge between school and real life interior design. We get in much deeper there. We have virtual and in-person events, so everyone is welcome. You don't need to have a design degree to be part of it.